life. And I've been personally lucky enough to have been able to use at least some of them. But it's not only luck or hard work, it's also a specific mindset that you actually need to have in order to succeed. So today I want to talk about this mindset and how you can actually make the best out of the opportunities that you encounter in your life. So there's going to be 4 steps I'm going to cover. But before we go there, actually, I've got a legitimate question. What is an opportunity? There's so many people talking today about it, but no one actually knows what it is. An opportunity can actually change your life in just a matter of seconds. The unique opportunity to travel to Australia, or the moment when you see the woman or the man of your dreams walking by, and you have to decide, do I talk to this person or let it go? Or, as you've seen 8 Miles, the movie about Eminem, where there's this one shot, one opportunity when you sit and then fails. So we actually all know what an opportunity is. And we also, most of the time, kind of notice when an opportunity presents itself to us. So the first thing I want to emphasize is that, there's millions of opportunities. There's millions of opportunities, and every day you will have opportunities, and every day you have a chance to shine or to miss the opportunity. But at the same time, and this is the mindset that you want to have, but at the same time, there's also lots of people who will tell you exactly the opposite. Who will say, there's just one opportunity in your life and you have to use it, and most of the times it's, for instance, recruiters calling you and saying, come join our company, this is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, you have to take it, and you'll say, okay, I'll consider it, and then next week there's another company calling you and telling you exactly the same thing. You go, what? It's not once in a lifetime, it's twice. But why is that? Why do people always think that there's opportunities now and in the past, but don't think that about the future? And it's actually a simple answer, because it's not our nature, because we're humans. We can't account for things that we don't know anything about yet. We kind of can't account for them. And that's why we underestimate the opportunities that are in the future. We rather assume that everything will be fairly consistent and nothing will change. So ever seen, GDP forecasts? The history looks very, very, I don't know how to say that, but the forecasts are always really consistent. Same for everything where people were scientists try to do forecasts. That's just life. So my first learning is whenever someone tells you that this is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity and you have to use it, it's usually crap and it's not true. And remember, Eminem, although he failed the first time, he still got a second opportunity. We all know it. So what I just want to say is there are millions of opportunities, and sometimes you just have to trick your brain and think beyond the expected and assume that everything's possible. So now that we know that there's millions of opportunities, let's go to the second logic question. There's so much choice, there's millions of opportunities. There's 200 countries where you can live, there's 20,000 subjects that you can study, there's millions of jobs that you can take, billions of partners that you can date, and too much choice is actually a bad thing. It stresses us out. We're getting completely confused. It also takes away time from the really important decisions that you have to make in life. And most dangerously, too much choice makes you choose too many things, and then you end up with all the ugly boots. So I know that this is the middle of the speech, and the focus is at the bottom. So I want to ask you a simple question. If you review your day today for me, and think about what you did, what you've been eating, who you woke up with, one simple question that I have, what word have you said more often today? Was it yes or no? So who said yes more often than no? Please raise your hand. And who said no more often than yes? Really? So what really successful people actually do, they say yes 5% of the time and no 95% of the time. So congratulations to the 3 people who said no more often. You've got a bright future ahead. But let me back that up by some examples. So when I first, when I wanted to start my last company, the first thing I had to figure out is what company to start, because I liked sports and education and casinos and design, and I knew that choosing one of those things meant giving up all the others. Opportunity costs, really nice word. And so I ended up focusing on design and founded a leading European design retailer. And I knew that when I had, if I want to make this successful, I have to focus on this one thing and say no to all the other things that I actually enjoyed, which is a hard thing. And I learned also the hard way to learn no more and more often. And for example, we're an internet website, so we put a lot of emphasis on the design of the website, conversion funnels, A/B tests, that everything is going well on all devices. And so we constantly change our design. And so we did a couple of changes, and I want to ask for feedback of some of the people that have some departments. And first of all, the customer service team came to me and they said, really slick design, super website, but what you should do is, you should make the customer service number more prominently, so that people can kind of call us, and this will generate more sales because they have more trust. And I said, yeah, okay, that makes sense. And then the buyers came to me and said, people come to the website because of the brand, so let's do logos everywhere, make them bigger. So okay, yeah, I'll think about it. And then the copywriters came to me, and guess what? They said, people buy the stuff because of the information that we give to them, so let's have more space for text. So if I listened to all of this advice, our website would have been looking like this. Disastrous outcome, bad outcome, no focus, you can't even, I don't even know what the website does. So what really successful companies and people do is they focus on the one thing that they actually can do and eliminate the rest. So for example, and no matter if it's an internet company or tech or oil or whatever, so it's no surprise that one of the most valued companies from the internet space has a homepage that looks like this. Very simple and clear. So the second thing is that I want to focus on is that you have to focus on one thing and set your priorities right, and whatever doesn't work towards these goals and priorities is a distraction and prevents you from being successful. So next time you are in a restaurant on the way to ask for a dessert, just dare to say no and thank me later on. So now that we know that you have to focus on something, the next question is, what do I have to focus on? It's still a big mystery. So this guy, Nassim Taleb, author of The Black Swan, he's going to help me with point 3. And he did a very complex sounding distinction between non-scalable and scalable jobs, and a simple concept I'll explain to you in 2 sentences, but that's what professors do. They have really simple ideas and manipulate it into nice words. But what he did is he distinguished between non-scalable and scalable jobs. So non-scalable jobs is, for instance, a hairdresser. She cuts your hair and she gets paid by the haircut or by the hour, it doesn't matter. But what happens is, there's some hairdressers that are a bit better, some that are a bit worse, but usually income is relatively equally distributed, and unless she finds a mysterious way to clone herself, there's this small probability that she'll shine or get rich or whatever, because she can't scale. The day is just 24 hours. On the other hand, this guy is a moderator. He has a scalable job. So what happens is he hosts his show, he talks to people, and it doesn't really matter if it's just 10 or 10 million people watching him, his job is still the same. So nowadays, more and more jobs move from non-scalable to scalable jobs. And this has a big impact. So for example, a singer. For thousands of years, singing was a non-scalable job. So you had a couple of guys in Paris, London, New York, who were the best ones, and some other ones in Philadelphia, Manchester, and Lyon. No offense, but those were the second best ones or third best ones. And what happened is it was a non-scalable job. Income was relatively equally distributed. No, as in then you would go to a theater where you live. Nowadays, it's a completely scalable job, which means that I record a song and over the internet, Spotify, SoundCloud, whatever, I distribute it to millions of people. And millions of people can access millions of songs. But what, of course, they end up doing is just listening to the best singers and the best songs. So the guy from Philadelphia, who's second best or third best, is he's probably having already another job of singing in the tube stations. Whereas U2 and Lady Gaga make $200 million a year. So I'm not here to judge if that's a fair thing or not, but you can't force people to listen to second best or third best things. They all want to listen to the best ones. So what this means for you is that no matter what opportunity you end up going for and what you decide to do, just be realistic and think if you've got a fair shot of being the number one in whatever you do. So now that we figured, we come to the last point, which is a fairly short one. But now that we figured that there's millions of opportunities, you have to focus on one, and the one that you want to focus on is probably the one where you can be the best. Still, lots of people don't get that realizing that there is an opportunity and actually acting on it and executing are two completely different things. So there's been lots of search engines before Google, and many more who tried to do it but didn't act. Same goes for social networks. You know, anyone remembering Friendster or MySpace before Facebook? And also we had 25, 30 companies who were doing exactly the same thing but all failed, except for us. And that's also where most organizations and people fail, between realizing that there's an opportunity and actually acting on it. And there's many reasons for that. You know, sometimes they are just not focused enough or distracted, or focus on the wrong things. Sometimes they think that we've put so much effort in realizing that there's an opportunity, we don't have to act on it. Or sometimes there's just other people who say, no, just give up, it's not worth it. So, and we face the same difficulties. You know, every day there's people who call and say, no, this doesn't make any sense, just give up, you're not going to finance it, it's not going to help the society, whatever. But we were 100% committed and wanted to make this really happen. So I went out to one of our mentors, I had several, and asked them, you know, you've been through all of this, you know, can you give me some advice? And he said, yeah, sure. Have a look at the regret minimization framework. And I was like, okay, I've been to consulting, I know a bit about frameworks, I'll have a look. So the regret minimization framework is actually something that Jeff Bezos, the CEO and founder of Amazon, came up with when he had to decide what to do with his life. And it's a very simple concept, helped me a lot, and it goes like this. But first, you have to close your eyes, so you don't have to jump around, close your eyes. All of you. I can see. Okay, perfect. So imagine that you're 90, 100 years old. You lay in bed, you're a bit sick, and you look back at your life. You see all those memories, all those photographies, all those emotions, your family, your love. And the one thing that you're going to ask yourself is, what will I regret the most? What's going to hurt the most when I look back? And it's actually the things that you didn't dare to do that you're going to regret the most. And then you can open up your eyes now. Then decision making is super simple, right? Because for me, for instance, will I regret spending another 2 years at Goldman Sachs? Probably not. But I regret until the end of my life I hadn't started my own company or given up somewhere along the way. So the last idea that I find worth spreading is to just do it. Thank you.